Hello and welcome to another installment of Hump Day Yoga with MimiLumi Presents. My name is Mimi. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Uh, as always, please listen to your own bodies because obviously I'm not there to help guide you visually in person. So don't do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. Rest when you need to rest. Listen to what your body is telling you, and just complete the practice as feels fit and right for you. Um, let's get started. Okay, so today we're starting standing. I'm about in the center of your mat. I'm at the back of mine just so that you can see me properly. Feet are hip width distance apart. Take your weight back onto your heels. Pick your toes up and spread them wide before placing them back down onto the mat. And just have a little bit of a play with your balance, forwards, backwards, side to side, to activate through the feet and the ankles, but also just to see if you can find that little perfect sweet spot where you feel that the weight is evenly displaced through all four corners of your feet. And then once you feel like you found that, we have the tailbone softening towards the floor, while at the same time the crown of the head is actively lengthening towards the ceiling. There's a little bit of engagement through the abdominals and through the tops of our thighs, but for the most part we feel nice and relaxed. We inhale our shoulders up towards our ears, exhale them back down our spine, energy to fingertips, length through the back of your neck. Softly close down your eyes and begin to draw the awareness to the breath. So you breathe in and out through the nose. Not trying to actively change or alter the breath at this point, but simply noticing its natural rhythm and texture. Notice where you feel that the breath is flowing freely through the body, or if there is any sense of constriction or restriction in any certain places within the body. And then with these next few breaths, see if you can actively send the breath into those parts of the body that might be feeling restricted. And there's no right or wrong answer here. So if you're feeling like there's a sense of tightness or discomfort in the legs, lower back, arms, neck, send your breath there. See if you can allow a sense of opening and softening into that muscle area or into that part of your body. And you might begin to notice that your breath has naturally begun to slow, simply because you have brought a sense of mindfulness to it now. So if that's the case, really relishing that extra length. And if it's not the case today, not beating ourselves up about it. Just letting the breath come naturally as it is. Good. Maybe you can feel the breath flowing all the way from the soles of your feet to the crown of the head and the tips of your fingers on the inhale. And then as you exhale, the breath recedes back through the body to rest in wherever you feel is your core today, whether that's belly or heart center. And then after your next exhalation, softly reopen the eyes, letting them become adjusted to the light in the room once more. We're going to move through 3 rounds of a full body stretch, finishing with a hinge through the hips as we swing our arms down and up. So it's a bit of a dance restart today. If you want to watch first, perhaps, feel free to do so. But as you inhale, we're reaching arms up towards the sky. It's like when you get up first thing in the morning, you're just having like a big yawn and a stretch. And then as you exhale with soft bent knees, we're going to hinge forward from the hips and swing the arms and the torso down. Up, and then let those hands just naturally flop down and sway. Let the sway slow naturally. And then inhale again, we reach up. Maybe you'd even like to come up onto the balls of the feet, and then exhale. Really let your momentum do all the work here. And if that means you want to take an audible sigh as you exhale to swing down, please feel free to do so. Last time, inhale up. And then exhale to swing. Good. So just essentially getting all the kinks and the cobwebs out of our body. And then from here, we're rolling down through our spine into Uttanasana. And normally we do that in sort of very frontal way, rolling straight down through the spine. But we're going to take it almost like a circle, roll down and roll up. So that as we exhale, we're dropping our right ear down towards right shoulder, and there's a little bit of a bend in the left knee. And you're just going to circle your head down. Shoulders release. As you get towards the bottom of your Uttanasana, you can bend the right knee as well. Come through center. And then we move through the opposite direction. So again, the head's leading you, but the neck is relaxed. Straighten through the right leg as you slowly roll back up. Good. Let's take the circle in the opposite direction. So now it's left ear towards left shoulder as the right knee bends slightly to bring you down. The head's heavy, shoulders and arms are heavy. Bend both knees as you soften to your full Uttanasana. And then we come up the other way, straightening the right leg as you do so, leading up. Head, neck and shoulders up last. Good. So you should have felt like a really nice full body massage. And if you want to stop this tape for a second and do a couple more because it felt really nice, go for it. But otherwise, moving on, let's take our right foot now in towards the back of our body, drawing the knees together to come to a quad stretch or the front of the thigh stretch. So use your hands, both hands if needed, till you feel like you're in a really strong position. You're drawing your tailbone down towards the floor as the crown lifts, just like you were in our standing posture Tadasana as we did our breath work. We draw our knees as close together as we can as we continue to work the heel of this right foot in towards our buttocks. Navel engaged, abdominals engaged, drawing our belly button in towards the back of the spine. And then as you take your next exhalation, we're going to work through some hip flexion now, taking the right knee in towards the chest, reaching around the hands to draw the knee in a little tighter. So it's an active bicep curl through the arms as we draw the knee in towards the chest. And we want to drop right hip down so it's level with our left, but at the same time continue to press through the sole of the left foot. Engage through the supporting leg. Back of the neck is long, you're just gazing straight ahead. One more deep breath in and out. Maybe a couple little circles actually through the ankle before we move on. And then when you're ready to release, softly guiding that right foot back down to the mat. If you've got any tension in the supporting left leg, you can give it a little shake. And then we change to the other side. So weights in the right foot as you guide the left foot back. Again, position your knees so that they're nice and close together. Tailbone drops down. Crown of the head lifts up. Relax through your shoulders here as you guide the left heel closer toward the buttocks. Take care that you haven't let your rib cage splay open or you've collapsed through the torso. You want to keep that torso and your spine in a neutral position. Rib cage almost feeling like it's drawing and locking in together. Good. One more deep breath in. Maybe you can grow a little bit taller here through the spine. And then exhale, we guide the left knee in towards the chest. Wrapping the hands around the shin just underneath the knee. Actively drawing knee in towards chest with a bicep curl. Again, press down through the sole of the right foot now. See if you can grow a little taller. But drop your left hip so it's level with the right. Good. Again, maybe we want to take a couple of circles of that left ankle. A few times clockwise and a few times anti-clockwise in your own time. Deep breath in, and then as you exhale, we gently guide the left foot back down towards the mat. Now we're going to be working into a chair posture now. So if you prefer to keep your feet hip width distance apart, you can, or you might prefer legs together. It's personal preference here. Wherever you are, you want a bit of a squeezing action of the inner thighs reaching together, even when your feet hip width distance apart. Yeah, a little bit of an activation through your adductor muscles. I'm going to do your feet together today. Inhale to lift and lengthen, and then as I exhale, draw that tailbone towards the wall behind. As the crown of the head reaches forward, I bend through the knees, and it's as though I'm sitting in that imaginary chair. If I look down, I should be able to just see my toes. Give them a little wheel, say hi. And we're going to hold here for a couple of breaths. I like to stay nice and open and broad through the chest, so quite a wide V through the arms, reaching out through fingertips. A few little heel rises here as we inhale, we hover the heels so they're just off the floor. You can come up quite high if that works for you, but any kind of height off the floor is good, even if it's a few millimeters. Inhale to lift the heels. Keep engaging through your core muscles, belly button into the back of spine. 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Maybe you can go even a little lower. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then hands come to our heart center and we fold into our full Uttanasana. Moving through a kind of spongy little flow here. As we inhale, we come to our halfway lift, hands to shins, working towards our flat back position. And then exhale, soften and fold back to Uttanasana. Feel free to really bend through the knees here so that you feel that your belly or chest is resting on the thighs. So again, we inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, soften and surrender down. You should be able to touch the floor. If you can't, you're holding onto ankles or chins. Inhale, halfway lift. And just take a few more rounds in your own time, inhaling up, exhaling down. So you're warming up a little bit through the knee joint. You're beginning to open and lengthen through the back of the legs. And you're continuing to lengthen out through the spine, through the vertebrae, as you bring the spine into a gentle traction every time you come to Uttanasana. Last time, inhale out and then exhale down. Now this time, plant your hands down into your mat and bend your knees as much as you need to until you come into your toe squat. From here, the hands will come behind us. Softly lower the bottom onto the mat, legs down in front. And we'll use our arms and elbows to roll down to begin to do a little bit of gentle ab work. Good, so once you've completely rolled down, make sure that your spine is in a neutral position. You're not overly tucking through the pelvis, nor do you have a really big curve in the lower back. And we want to make sure that the shoulder blades mounting into the floor, back of the neck is long. We're going to move through some alternate hand and toe taps. So if you've been to my classes before, you've probably done this with me, but if not, feel free to watch for the first couple of rounds and then join in your own time. But we want to begin by bringing those legs up so that they're in a tabletop position. Shins are about parallel to the floor beneath you and knees above hips. Hands reach up towards the sky above us. And then from here, we'll exhale and begin to take the right toes towards the mat as the left hand comes back. And then we inhale to come back up to our starting position. Exhale, left toes come down and the right arm comes back. And then inhale up. And then we just continue this in our own time. Nice, slow, controlled movements. And you'll see that I don't ever completely let my toes or my hands touch the floor, because if you do that, you have a tendency to switch off through the abdominal muscles. You want to keep them engaged, keep that belly button drawing in, and keep remembering to breathe. Good. Also notice that I'm not bringing in that opposite knee closer to my chest as I drop the other leg. I'm trying to maintain that tabletop position. Good. Now, if this feels easy for you, you can extend the legs out longer so that they're working towards being straight, but that's just an option. You don't have to do that. It's a lot more load on the lower back. So if you have any lower back sensitivities today, that might not be for you. Do one more round each side, right and then left in your own time, and then when you're ready, we draw the knees in towards the chest to give them a little hug and a squeeze. If you want to rock gently from side to side to massage the lower back, you're more than welcome to. Then from here, we'll move into our variation of our happy baby ab curl. So to do that, we begin by working our way into our happy baby posture. Soles of the feet as though they're flat to the ceiling. Knees drawing down towards the chest, and you're holding onto the outside edges of your shins, ankles, or feet. Then from here, we're going to release the hands, flex through the wrists, palms up towards the sky. And we want to imagine that there's some charcoal or some paint at our kneecaps. And as we move through the ab curl, we want to draw a line on that upper back of our arm, so that the aim is that we're thinking up rather than through the legs. Deep breath in, chin slightly tucked in. Exhale, we come up, drawing that line along the arms. And then inhale, we come back up. Exhale to reach up, and then inhale, we lower back down. Now the aim for this is quality over quantity. So we're just going to do maybe 5 or 6 rounds. Stop when you need to rest. Exhale to come up. Inhale down. Exhale, keep drawing that navel in towards the back of your spine as you come up, relaxing as much as you can through the neck. And if you want to breathe out through the mouth, as you come up, you're welcome to, so you feel like you've got a little bit more power. 2 more in your own time. Relax through the neck every time you come down. Inhale to release. And then again, draw those knees in towards the chest. Give them another little rock and squeeze. From here, we're coming up to our tabletop position. We can do that either by rolling over onto our side and then pressing up with the arms and hands, or we can rock along the vertebrae for a few rounds until we come up to a seated position. So once we're in our seated position, if you're in your cross leg, you can either take the feet to one side and then use the hands to press up, or you can actually rock out over the knees if it's safe for your knees, and then arm across at the ankles. We want to move straight into our downward dog posture today, so hands are a little further away from the shoulders than our traditional tabletop. Really spread the fingers wide. Exhale, tuck your toes under, engage for your core muscles as you press the earth away from you, sending the hips up nice and high. Rotate out through the shoulder blades here, heart center working towards your thighs. When you're ready, you can begin to walk your dog, alternate heel presses. Left heel comes down towards the mat as you bend the right knee, and then we swap over. Right heel comes down, the left knee bends. Move as fast or as slow through the walking of the dog as feels right for you. So some of us prefer a slower stretch. Some people like to move a little faster, building that heat. It's up to you. If you want to bring movement into the hips as they gently sway from side to side, increasing the stretch through the torso, you're welcome to do so. But either way, the next time that you heel press that right heel down, inhale for the balls of both feet working to a slightly higher downward dog, perhaps straightening the legs if that feels comfortable for you. Once you're here, the tailbone up nice and high, I want you to imagine you've glued it in space. And then as you exhale, audible sigh through the mouth. Let your heels melt really effortlessly towards the floor. Now the knees might bend again because we're still warming up through the back of the legs, and that's completely fine. From here, taking a flow in and out of our downward facing dog. So when we're ready, we'll inhale forward to full plank, weight forward into the arms, back of the neck is long, and then exhale, we come back. Inhale to come forward, pressing out through the in-between space of the shoulder blades. Exhale, we come back. We'll take that a few more times in your own breathing pattern. Inhale to come forward, pressing out through every knuckle and pad of the hand. Exhale to come back. Inhale forward. Exhale to come back. Good. From here, moving into our sun salutations. Let's inhale. Right leg up nice and high. Exhale, scoop the knee towards the head so you can lightly land that foot at the top of your mat. Relax your back left knee down. Feeling free, if you wish, to pad it with a towel or a cushion or a blanket. A little bit of extra protection in the knee. Walk your right foot further forward if you need to, so the ankle's directly underneath the kneecap. And then as you exhale, we engage through core muscles and lift up to our easy lunge. So once we're in our easy lunge, we exhale to try and soften the hips towards the floor, but we want to feel like the top of our left thigh is reaching towards the front of our mat. That's just going to bring the pelvis into a bit more of a neutral position. And then as you inhale, feel as though you're lifting not just through the front of the chest, but through the back of the rib cage as well. Imagine you've got lots of little tiny fish hooks underneath the rib cage there, and they're being lifted up through fishing line all the way up towards the sky. Good. Looking up only if it's comfortable for your neck. And then when we're ready to move on, we exhale to take hands back down towards the mat to frame the front foot. Press down with this left hand, tuck your back toes under, inhale, straighten the back leg, exhale, twist towards your right, looking up at those right fingers. Now you can see that the thigh and my chest are nice and close together, and I have energy pressing out through my big right toe to help me encourage that alignment of the knee. If I let my toe wiggle about, my knee will naturally sort of flop up to the side. Few breaths here, breathing in towards the back of the body because the stomach is restricted. And then exhale, take the right hand back down, round down through both hands, pick this front foot back up to come back into downward facing dog. Now if you know your prop's going to get in your way of your flow, move it gently out to the side. And then when we're ready, we'll inhale forward to our full plank. Exhale, take the knees down to the mat. Elbows stay tucked tight to the body, and we slowly lower down to our half plank. Once you've lowered, make sure the hands are directly underneath the shoulders. And as you inhale, press through the tops of the feet and your pubic bone to lift and lengthen from the crown of the head into your gentle cobra. So elbows still stay tight. And there's not too much weight into the fingers or hands here. You can take them away. You shouldn't really change anything through the spine. Exhale, let's come back down. So that was our little warm up. Let's move into it again. This time as you exhale before, I want you to feel like your belly button is engaging so much. It goes and comes off the mat, okay? So exhale, engage those core muscles. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. So we're feeling like the spine is just as long as when we were lying down on the mat. Exhale, we soften back down, ground down through the knees slightly, press through the palms of the hand. Inhale to come back through the half plank. Exhale to take the weight back, tuck toes under, press back into downward facing dog. And then again, we continue on to the left side this time. Inhale, left leg up nice and high. Exhale, scoop it to the front of the mat in between the hands. Walk the left foot as far forward as you need to. Lower this back right knee, patting it with your cushion if you need to. And then when you're ready, we inhale to come up. Exhale again. Soften the hips towards the floor. So we're paying a little bit more attention to the legs on this round, so I won't adjust the camera. Top of the right thigh working towards the front of the mat. Square hips. Inhale to lift and lengthen up. Only looking up to the sky if it's comfortable for your neck. One more deep breath in, and then exhale, both hands return down towards the mat. We ground down through our right palm, we tuck our back toes under, inhale, straighten the back leg, and then exhale, we twist towards our left. Looking up at the left fingers if it's comfortable. So again, you can see I've got energy through this big left toe, so that my knee doesn't flock out to the side. It's helpful to imagine that I've come and pushed it down. That might work for you. Couple of breaths here. See if you can press out through the back right heel as well. And then exhale, the hand returns down towards the mat. We gently try to pick this left leg up and we press back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in and out here. Now you might like to come back to your half plank and cobra, or perhaps for this round, we'd like to inhale forward to full plank. Exhale till we let the hips just hover slightly off the floor. Inhale to a variation of our upward dog, toes staying tucked under. Exhale, we press back into downward facing dog. From here, we'll inhale the right leg up nice and high. Exhale, scoop it to the front of the mat in between their hands, keeping the back leg straight this time. And as we exhale, engage core, press through sole of the right foot. Inhale up to our high lunge. Exhale, imagine that you're trying to rip the mat apart with your feet as you deepen the lunge. And the same as in our easy low lunge, sense of lifting up not just through the front of the chest, but also through the back. And when you're ready, we'll take a little flow here by exhaling to work into a cactus dip, drawing the left knee towards the mat that's hovering just above, and arms come to cactus. And then inhale, straighten both legs as you lift up. Feel as though there's a sense of buoyancy as you lengthen through the arms and the spine. Shoulders relaxed, exhale, cactus dip. We'll just move through a few more rounds, just like that, keeping the hips square to the front. Inhale up, exhale down. Keep engaging through the core muscles. Inhale up, kneecaps drawing up towards hips as you straighten those legs. Last time, exhale down. And then the hands come all the way down towards the mat. And we pick the front foot up and press it back into downward facing dog. So you have two vinyasa flows that we've already established that you can work through. Maybe this time you'd like to inhale forward to full plank. Exhale down through Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows tight to the body, lower with control. Inhale, full upward facing dog, hips are off the floor and the top of our feet are on the mat. Exhale, we press back, downward facing dog. Keep rotating those shoulders out up the spine, creating space around the neck. And we move through the same sequence on the left. Inhale, left leg up nice and high. Exhale, scoop it to the front of the mat in between the hands. Square off through the hips, engage through your core muscles. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, trying to rip that mat apart with the feet. Really engaging, even here, getting back that kneecap coming up. Good. When you're ready, we move through those cactus dips. Exhale, the right knee this time hovers just above the mat. Inhale, straighten both legs. Feel as though you're really reaching and lifting up right from the soles of the feet to the tips of the fingers and crown of head. Exhale, we drip, we drip, we drop. Inhale up. Exhale down. My front leg is a bit wobbly this side. Inhale up, lifting through the back of the spine. Exhale down. Inhale up. This time as we exhale to come down, we continue the motion to ground the palms down towards the mat. We pick that front leg back up into downward facing dog. Take a breath or two here. Perhaps you'd like to hold in your downward dog for this round. Really enjoying the warmth that you've built through the back of the body and appreciating the alignment and the position. Or if you prefer to move through another vinyasa flow, you can do so in your own time. Inhale forwards. Exhale down. Inhale to a cobra or a variation of your upward dog, heart center open. Exhale, we press back. So for this final round of our standing postures, we inhale the right leg up nice and high. Exhale, scoop it to the front of the mat in between the hands. Ground down through our back left heel this time. Then inhale the left arm windmills us up to our warrior two. We walk our front foot further forward if we need to, so we can just see those right toes. Torso is straight above the pelvis, arms reaching out from the shoulders. Imagine that you're resting those arms on a body of water, so you feel almost weightless. And there's energy wrapping down through this back left leg, pressing the outer edge of the foot into the mat. Front knee pointing out over toes. If it's comfortable for the neck, we're looking over the right arm. And then when we're ready, we'll turn the front palm up. Inhale to reach forward and lift up. And then exhale, reverse warrior. Lightly landing the left hand onto the thigh or the calf muscle. Looking either down at that back leg, maybe up at the top hand, wherever is comfortable for the neck, really. Inhale, we'll come back up. Now for this next round, we want to come back into our reverse warrior again, but we're going to transition into something that I like to call butt of the crumpet. So it has a sweeping motion. So if you want to watch first and then follow along in your own time, you're welcome to. When we're ready, we turn the front palm up. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, we come back. Take an inhale to hold. And then we butt of the crumpet. Right arm's leading you. Press off the back leg. And we transition into this variation of our warrior three, where we're reaching out through the left arm, walls in my way slightly here, and we're stretching out through the back leg, maybe even looking back at the right hand. And then inhale, you're going to wobble, that's the point, you're challenging your balance. We bring the left knee up towards the chest and we reach up with the arms. Press down through the supporting right foot, and then exhale, lead with your left heel to float into our more traditional warrior three. So again, I have the wall a little bit in my way, so maybe you want to take the hands behind you if you don't have space in front of you. And of course, you can bring the hands to the floor if you want to be supported in that way. But it's nice sometimes to feel like you're really flying in the warrior three. Square through the hips, dropping the left hip level with the right. And then when you're ready to release, exhale, bend the front leg, supporting leg, to guide the left toes back down towards the mat. Inhale up to a high lunge. Exhale, take both hands back down towards your mat. And we press back into downward facing dog. Again, maybe you want to hold in the downward dog, engaging through the front of the thighs, sending the tailbone a little higher to the sky, rotating the shoulders out. Or maybe you want to move through a vinyasa flow. Inhale forwards, exhale down. Inhale, cobra or a variation of your upward dog. Exhale back out over the knees and toes. And we'll take this to the other side. So this time the left leg comes up nice and high. Exhale, scoop it to the front of the mat, in between the hands. Ground down through the back right ankle. Inhale. The right arm brings you up to warrior two. Again, adjust the legs if you need to. Make sure you can just see those left toes. Front thighs externally rotating out. Good. Energy through those arms. Turn the gaze over the left arm. Hold here for a few breaths. Find peace and stillness here. A sense of strength and stability. And then when you're ready, we'll do a reverse warrior to warm up, and then move into the same sequence again. So we inhale forward and up. Exhale, release into reverse warrior, just looking wherever is comfortable for the neck. Keep the bend in the front leg. Inhale to come up. Exhale to settle. Inhale again to reach forward and up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale for a breath. Think about where you want to go and up. Exhale, sweep left arm, then right. Lift up into our little variation of our warrior three. Maybe we're looking at the back left fingers, reaching out oppositionally through right and left hand. And then exhale, right knee comes in towards the chest. Arms lift up. And we press through the supporting leg while the hips square off and level. Then again, we press through the back right heel and fly into our warrior three once more. Really trying to take care of the hips square and level. Relax through the back of the neck. If you take a wobble, don't beat yourself up. Really engage through the core, so you're protecting lower back. And then exhale, bend through the left knee to softly guide the right toes back down towards the mat, high lunge. Exhale, both hands come back down towards the mat, and then we press back into downward facing dog. Good. Let's all drop our knees down towards the mat and take a few breaths in our child's posture. Whether that's extended child's posture, arms in front if you prefer, or full child's posture, hands go one at a time beside the feet, palms facing up, forehead resting onto the mat. If you struggle to bring the forehead onto the mat, you can always rest the forehead onto two fisted hands, two stacked fists. Just gives you a bit more support through the head and will naturally lower your hips and buttocks closer towards the heels. Hold here for a few breaths. And when we're ready to move on, we exhale and we begin to slowly roll up through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming to an upright kneeling position. Hands just resting by your sides. And we'll take the weight off the heels and slowly bring our legs in front of us to come to our rod posture. So once you're in your rod posture, take your time to adjust until you feel settled. Normally I would suggest using a prop here under the hips if you feel like you're sinking backwards. Because of what we're going to transition into, I wouldn't recommend it for this particular instance. Instead, just make sure you're walking the flesh out from underneath your buttocks so you can really feel the sitting bones and the pelvis digging down into the mat. Engage through the thighs, toes pointing up towards the ceiling, stomach and abdominal muscles working hard to bring you upright. From here, we're going to come into an extended leg side crescent stretch. So we'll guide our right leg out long, a little half V, and then bring this left foot in. Again, make sure you can feel your pelvis evenly pressing down into the mat. Bring the right hand onto the inside edge of that right leg. Inhale. Sweep and take an open twist towards your left. And we want to wrap the left hand, preferably around to hold onto the right hip. If you can't quite reach, then just bring it towards the lower back, maybe holding onto your shirt. From here, we inhale to find a little bit of lift and lengthen, actively pressing through the back of the right leg into the mat. And then exhale, we take a little side curve, working the fingers towards the heel. Now, often in this posture, people talk about grabbing onto the foot, but I want you to think more about relaxing. So drop your elbow down. You're just using the fingers to guide you along the leg. And then as you exhale, we're going to drop right ear towards right shoulder to completely relax through the left side of the neck. But we're still actively trying to open up through the heart center to guide it towards the left. Take a couple of breaths here. Really feeling that lovely, luscious, full stretch through the left side of the body. Full C-curve shape right from your tailbone towards the crown of the head. And then as you take your next exhalation, begin to slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. You should still be in a kind of open twist here. And as you inhale, you unwind from the twist and you release the left hand. From here, we'll transition into a variation of our deer posture. Guide this left leg a little further forward so the shin is parallel to the short end of your mat and the foot is flexed. And then you can use your hands for a little bit of help here. Rock off to the side so you can bend your right leg and bring it behind you. Yeah. Don't stress about the position of the back leg too much. You just want it to be somewhere that's behind you and comfortable. We're focusing a little bit more on this front left leg now. So we inhale to lift and lengthen, square the torso off towards the front. And as you exhale, you want your heart center or your sternum to come directly over the center of that shin. So not off towards the ankle, not off towards the knee, but towards the center of the shin. And you might need to adjust the back leg if you need to. Stop where you feel the first point of resistance and hold there. So if that's just arms out long, palms into the mat, fine. If you want to bring your elbows down, you can. Sometimes I like to hook that the right elbow onto the outside edge of the left foot. Relax through the back of the neck. Yeah. So unlike a lot of our forward folds where we're very preoccupied with trying to lengthen the spine, here you can allow a bit of a curve to come in because we want to surrender down. The focus is more around the hip and the left buttock here. Softly close those eyes. And we'll hold here for a number of breaths so we're really getting the full benefit of the stretch and really allowing the pelvis to open and soften. We hold a lot of emotional tension in and around the hips and the buttocks. And then that can also stem in towards lower back pain. So if we allow it the time to properly release and relax, which can doing a lot of benefit not just for the body, but also for the mind and the heart as well. There should be no pain or tension around the left knee. If there is, it might be because you have this left foot too close towards your pelvis. Bring it a little out so you're in about a 90-degree angle through the leg. When we're ready to come out, we inhale to guide the hands back in towards the pelvis, bringing the torso upright. Use your hand to help bring that right leg back in. And we'll swap over to the other side. So the left leg is now in a little half V shape, or extended out to our side. And we just draw the right foot in so it's comfortable in the pelvis. Make sure you can feel both hip bones grounding down into the mat. We take the left hand onto the inside edge of that leg. Inhale, open twist towards the right, either holding onto the back of the shirt or holding onto the left hip. Find a little bit more space and height through the spine. Press the left back of the thigh into the mat. And then exhale, we come into that little side crescent stretch. Again, the left fingers are just reaching towards the ankle. They don't need to grip on. Deep breath in, exhale. Whoo. Left ear towards left shoulder. Completely relax through the right side of your neck. And enjoy that really lovely C curve and that lovely stretch. Keep rotating your heart center open towards your right. So even as we come into the curve, we're still thinking a little bit about making an open twist through the torso. Nice deep breaths in and out. Good. Feel free to close your eyes if you prefer. Feel those tiny little muscles in between the ribs. Open and release. One more deep breath in. Exhale. Roll up through the spine, and you can see we're still in that little bit of an open twist. Inhale, release from the twist, bringing your torso back to the front, and relax and release from the right arm. Now it's the right leg, which adjusts in front without more of a 90-degree angle, shin parallel with the short end of your mat. Help guide that left leg behind you, and then just reposition until you feel that you're in a more comfortable position. I know that might seem like a bit of an oxymoron if this isn't somewhere a way that you would normally sit. Yeah, just make sure the back leg is as relaxed as it can be. Hand either side, inhale to lift and lengthen, flex the front foot, press that pinky toe down into the floor. Exhale, the heart center, the sternum comes through the center of that leg, and we just stop where we feel that first point of resistance. Good. Again, it could be legs, arms extended, palms just supporting you into the mat, or maybe you can bend and release the elbows into the floor, maybe even hooking this left elbow onto that right foot. And then relax through the back of your neck. Close down those eyes, and let's take a few breaths here. Really sending the breath in towards that right hip and the right buttock. There should be no tension around the right knee. And the neck and the face and the jaw should be relaxed. Can you take some really nice, deep, easy breaths, like we did right at the start of the class. When you're ready to release, we inhale to look forward. Exhale, hands back in so you can bring the torso upright. Let's use this left hand to guide the left leg back in. Bring the feet in close towards your hips and buttocks. Knees to the chest, wrap the arms around your legs, and then exhale, bring your forehead to rest towards the knees. So we're holding there for a few breaths in our cosmic egg, letting the weight rock back onto the tailbone, curving through the spine slightly. So we're releasing any tension we might be holding through the upper back, particularly between the shoulders. Inhale, guide the forehead back up off the knees. From here, we're going to come into our Lord of the Fish posture, Ardha Mandrasana. So take your left hand and reach around to hold onto right ankle. Guide the right ankle beside the hip. Now this left foot is either going to rest onto the inside edge or the outside edge of the knee. Whichever option you're in though, make sure that that left buttock isn't coming off the floor. We want it to ground back down, so you might need to bring that foot back into the inside edge if that works best for you. Actively press the sole of the left foot into the mat so that you can lift and lengthen through the torso. As you exhale, we're going to take the left hand behind us, inhale the right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, begin to twist towards your left, and you can either hook or wrap the elbow around that left knee, whichever option feels best for you. Inhale to grow a little taller, and then exhale, deepen the twist, turning to look over left shoulder. Take care that you're not putting too much weight into this backhand. You should be able to pick it up off the floor, and nothing really changes in the spine. You're in no danger of rolling backwards. See if you can take the twist right up into the eyes so that that right eye is looking all the way towards that back far corner. One more deep breath in. Exhale, guide the head and gaze to the front and then slowly unwind from the twist. And the easiest way to change the legs is just to bring the weight back onto the hands and then swap over. So now we have our right leg on top, left leg in close towards the hips and buttocks. And then again, just check in. Are both your buttocks pressing down into the mat? If they aren't, bring that foot onto the inside edge of the knee. Actively press the sole of the right foot into the floor to lift and lengthen through the torso. Yeah, we should be able to hold up here with just the core muscles, no hands. But we will take that right hand behind us, inhale the left arm up, and then exhale as we twist. We're either hooking or wrapping. Sometimes I like a wrap because I feel like it stretches my hip and my buttock more. Inhale to grow a little taller. Exhale, deepen the twist even further, looking out over the right shoulder. Holding for a few breaths here. Good. Keep actively pressing through that front right foot. Take care not to put too much weight into the back right fingers. So it is always worth noting with closed twists as well. If you have low back pain or if you're pregnant or menstruating, it might not always be the best idea for you to move into a closed twist, particularly if you're in later term pregnancy. Obviously, belly's going to get in the way. So you can still do this, make it an open twist instead. So you're turning away from that top leg. Yeah. Wherever you are, we inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, turn the gaze to the front and then slowly unwind from the twist. Weight comes back onto the hands again just so that you can uncross the legs and we'll roll down with a slow ab controlled roll today to come to Shavasana. So you might want to adjust so that when you roll down, you know you're about in the center of your mat. Feet are hip width distance apart. Arms reaching in out in front. Imagine someone's pulling on your fingertips. And as you exhale, we slowly begin to roll down through the spine. Vertebrae by vertebrae with control. Lowering down, shoulders and then head last. Once you're down on the mat, you adjust for your Shavasana. So you might prefer to keep the soles of the feet on the mat with knees bent. Take the feet out nice and wide and let your knees knock together. It's really good if you ever get tension in your hips or your lower back during relaxation, which is a problem that I often have at times depending on my week. Or you can make those legs fall out long and straight from the hips. Be very generous hip width distance apart. Let your toes pop out to the side. Your arms are either beside your body, palms facing up, or maybe the elbows are bent and the palms are resting gently down and towards the belly for more internal relaxation. Wherever you are, make sure you do any last little adjustments that you need to now. Any little wriggles, adjustments of clothing. If you get down and you think, I'm a little bit cold or I need a drink of water, take the opportunity to do that now. And then invite true stillness into your body. As you slowly begin to bring the awareness to the breath, eyes are softly closed. So in our Shavasana, we don't try to actively change the breath. We use it merely as a vehicle for our relaxation. So as we exhale, we can really feel the whole back half of the body sink and melt down into the floor, supported by the embrace of the earth below us. And as we inhale, we feel the whole front half of our body open, become light and spacious. So we play with the sense of idea of buoyancy and surrender. And the idea that those two feelings can coexist within your own body. The muscles of your toes, ankles, relax. You can feel the flesh of the shin and the calves, almost like they're melting away from the bone. Front and back of knee softens. Front and back of thighs are heavy. The belly is completely soft and relaxed. Its hard work is done for the moment, but it's allowing you to take nice, deep, easy breaths in and out. Allow any tension you're feeling in the lower back to completely melt away. As shoulder blades and ribs, back of ribs, melt and fuse down into the floor beneath you. There's a softness and a lightness at the heart center and the collarbones. Your arms are completely relaxed wherever they might be. Fingertips just gently curling inwards. Front and back of neck is long. Mouth is just softly closed. Maybe there's even a soft, subtle smile at the lips. We're all no tension through the cheeks, the forehead or the temples or the eyes, particularly at the back of your eye socket. Feel as though the back of your eyes are receding in towards the third eye center, allowing the third eye to become a little bit more present. And the back and the top of the skull opens and releases. Whole body completely at peace. And if any thoughts begin to bubble up into the mind, acknowledge them and then gently press them to one side. So rather than trying to smother anything, we're really just letting everything flow freely. Not letting anything intrude into this moment of peace and relaxation. Your Shavasana today. Begin to slowly draw the awareness back to the body now by taking a few deep breaths in and out, really noticing your belly rise and fall. Perhaps even taking an audible exhale out through the mouth. A little bit of movement to fingers and toes, giving them a wriggle, feeling skin rub on skin. And then allow your head to turn from side to side to massage through the back of the skull and reawaken your neck. When you're ready to return the head to center, complete any last little stretches that feel right for you, whether that's inhaling into a full body stretch, fingers and toes pointing away from the body, or perhaps it's drawing the knees in towards the chest for another little final hug and squeeze, or rock from side to side. Let your instincts guide you into completing any movement that feels right. And then only when you're ready should you roll over onto your right side and pause there for a moment in a fetal position, giving your body one last chance to re-enter the space of the room. One last chance to surrender. And then with your eyes still softly closed, use your hands and arms to help press you into a gentle and comfortable seated position, whether that's cross-legged or kneeling. Don't worry about where you end up facing, hands resting at the knees or the thighs. Close those eyes again if you have allowed them to open, and feel that length and alignment through the spine again. Heart center above pelvis, crown of the head above the heart, back of the neck is long, chin slightly tucked in, shoulders relaxed. Take a moment to become aware of any changes that might have occurred as a result of your practice, whether those changes be in the breath, the body, the mind, or at the heart center. Be mindful of those changes without judgment. And we'll take our hands to prayer at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Bow forehead down towards fingertips and take a moment to truly thank yourself for taking the time out of your busy day to come and dedicate your practice of yoga. I'd like to conclude the class with one chant of the mantra Om. You can join in simply by listening. But if you'd like to chant with me, we'll synchronize the breath by all exhaling here. And then taking a deep breath in for Om. Carry these peaceful vibrations with you into the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Namaste. So thank you everyone for joining me again for another weekly installment of our Hump Day Yoga. If you do enjoy the classes, please feel free to hit subscribe or hit the like button. I release new classes every Wednesday at 9 a.m. And if you have any requests or any questions, please feel free to drop them into the comments below. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon.